Hey guys, it's Lego Boy Z3. Today is my 16th Q&A. Okay, so today is Q&A number 16. So this is a video series where I answer your guys' questions that you leave down in the comments below. So if you want to have a question answered next time, then go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. But make sure it's a good question and make sure I haven't answered it before. And speaking of questions that I've gotten before, what comments or questions do you get a lot that annoy you? When I'm making my Q&A videos, I get so many questions that annoy me so much, especially things that I've just answered a million times over and over again, or things that are really easy to find out, like, have you made a video on this? Well, there's a search bar on my channel, or like, can you make a video of this? When I already have made that video, or what's your PB on this? When you can go to the about page on my channel, or what's your real name? When you can just go to my WCA profile, just all these kind of things, and just things in general that I've answered before. Those annoy me a lot. Okay, someone wants me to try out an algorithm, so let's get a cube. Here we go. U, R prime, D, U, M, B. Looks pretty cool. It has like this little white thing, and this little yellow thing opposite of that. Kind of have these cool bars. Yeah, nice. When it comes out, are you considering getting the V-Cube 9? The V-Cube 9 actually did just come out, and I think you're asking me that because I have a V-Cube 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 8x8. But no, I'm definitely not getting the 9x9. I actually looked at it. It was fairly cheap compared to like some other 9x9s. I mean, not cheaper than other 9x9s, but fairly cheap compared to what they've been in the past. But no, I'm not going to get it because my guess is it's not going to be really great quality, and I just never buy V-Cubes anymore. Why are your Megaminx type puzzles up on the shelf, and why is there 6x6 up there? I think you're referring to this area over here, and it's not just Megaminx type puzzles. I have like 4x4s, all sorts of other things, 2x2s. I have like a Siamese cube, mix-up cube, 5x5s, all sorts of stuff up there. It's pretty much just all my cubes that I can't fit down over here. Can you juggle with your cubes? Well, let's find out. Let's get 3 cubes right here. Okay, let's go. No, I can't. Can you show your cube collection? Yup. There you go. What's the most tedious / longest mod that you've made? Definitely for sure the 7x7 barrel here. I mean, just like shaping down and cutting down all the pieces and making it round took forever, and filling them all in. But the most annoying thing about the whole thing is once I had it completely finished, it was the exact perfect shape and everything, just sanding down the individual pieces to make them round on the outside took like a day. And that's not even counting the stickers that I had to do after that. It just took like so many hours. What event do you consider yourself the worst at? Probably 5x5 blindfolded, because it's the event that I'm furthest away from actually being able to do. But in reality, if you actually go on and look at my WCA profile, the event that I'm actually ranked the worst at is 3x3, which is kind of funny, but that's just because it's the most popular event, so I guess 3x3? You should make a YouTube channel. Yeah, pretty good idea you have there. I'll think about maybe doing that someday. Do you like turtles? I don't really have much of an opinion on turtles, but it turns out a lot of my viewers actually do like turtles. Like a lot of my viewers. Whoa, that's a lot of people liking turtles. Oh gosh, I'm scared now. Okay, whoa. Well, at least that guy doesn't like turtles. Magnets in a Megaminx? I've actually tried magnetizing my X-Man Galaxy Megaminx before, because I think that's the only Megaminx that would actually be worth magnetizing, because it's the only really good one out there. And the pieces are just so tiny on the inside that it's really, really hard to do. I probably could have done it with a couple pieces, but doing it with all the pieces on the puzzle would take absolutely forever. Maybe once I get some smaller magnets, it might help it a little bit. But for now, no, I'm not going to do it because it's so hard. Would you rather be a professional cuber or YouTuber? Well, I'm pretty sure you can already consider me both of those things, so yeah. Change the date cube to June 27th. That's my birthday. Well, I guess we're back to the whole changing it to people's birthday thing. Well, give me a second. There you go. Is the calendar cube on the correct date? If not, change it. Well, now it's not on the correct date. I guess it wasn't beforehand either, but I guess we have to change it now. There we go. That's my best guess as to when this video is going to come out. Also, where can you buy a calendar cube? I actually got these stickers from CubeSmith. You can't really buy the cube by itself, you have to just buy the stickers. But since that website doesn't exist anymore, what you can actually do is go to Oliver's Stickers. That's the website, just search it up in Google, and you'll find it. And I believe he does have some calendar cube stickers. How old are you? Well, I'm not really sure what the word how old means. But in case you were wondering, I'm 14, soon to be 15. What's your favorite video game? Well, at the moment, that would probably be Terraria, because that's fun. The funny thing is, that person who asked the comment is actually the person who got me to play Terraria, so yeah. Make the best cube pun that you can. Well, I can't really think of puns, so I decided to ask this person because, again, I know him. So I texted him, hey, I need a cube pun so I can respond to one of those comments that you left on my Q&A. And he replied back, are you responding one by one? Okay, I think I've recovered from that. Why don't you upload on your second channel? I don't know, I just really don't have much to upload on it. I just kind of put some random time lapses there, things like that. But I don't really have much to put on there anymore, so I just don't really upload in it, and it's just kind of there. What is your favorite video on your channel? That's a pretty good question because I don't really enjoy a whole lot of my videos as much as you'd think. Just kind of listening to myself talking isn't that interesting to me. I do kind of like some of my videos, like my time lapses I think are pretty interesting. But I think my all-time favorite video was my 3 years video, where I showed a little clip from every single one of my videos for the past 3 years. I think I've watched that one over 10 times. How did you think of creating your channel? Well, I kind of wanted to make some Rubiks Cube videos, and so I was sitting in Spanish class one day in 6th grade, probably not paying attention to what we were learning, and I was like, hey, I should make a channel. And so I did. Can you answer this question last? Nope. When will you make Force Megaminxes? Well, I'm probably not going to make Force Megaminxes because it'll be really expensive. You have to buy 12 whole stickerless Megaminxes, which will be like insanely expensive, especially if you buy some good ones. And also, I'm not the first person to do them. I was one of the first people to do cubes, and I think the first person to do transparent 3x3s. So I kind of like being the first one, but since people have already made Megaminxes before, it's not too interesting. Also, where do you live? I live in Colorado. How old were you when you first solved a Rubik's Cube? So let's see, it would have been the beginning of 2011, beginning of 2017, 6 years, 14 minus 6, 8 years old. Do you still pick up and solve some of your old puzzles like these ones up here? To be honest, no, especially these ones up here, I barely ever touch them at all. Some of these ones over here I occasionally pick up and solve, but if I'm gonna solve a puzzle, I'm usually just gonna be practicing like doing speed solves on something like a 3x3, Rubiks Cube, something like that. I generally won't solve these cubes all that often. Which of these cubes would you prefer as a main? GAN 356 Air UM or Valk 3M? Well, one of those cubes is currently my main, so I think it would be pretty easy to find out. Are you planning on expanding your collection with cubes above an 8x8? Yes, I definitely will eventually. I think I'm kind of holding off for the 17x17 by Yushin to be released. That's going to be a really interesting one. Originally, I wanted to get a Moyu 15x15, but that's still nowhere to be seen. So yeah, once the 17x17 comes out, depending on how expensive it is, I might get that. If you had infinite money to make a mod, what would it be? Well, I'd probably do something like fuse a bunch of 13x13s together, or maybe 17x17s once they come out. Just like make a huge like chain of them. That would be pretty fun. What average time on a 3x3 would you recommend to go to a competition? Any average time ever. If you can get under the cutoff in a cube at a competition, then you should do that cube in a competition. If you can go to a competition at all, even if you can't compete, even if you're slower than like 3 minutes on a 3x3, which isn't that hard to break, go to a competition. It doesn't matter if you don't compete, it's a lot of fun anyway. Is it logical to use magnetic big cubes like 5x5, 6x6, Megaminx square 1? I actually do use magnets in 2 of those cubes, a 5x5 and a square 1. I haven't made a video on the square 1 before because it's not too much of a mod. I pretty much just have 4 magnets in the entire thing just to keep it aligned. That one is pretty easy of a mod, doesn't make too much of a difference. 5x5 makes a little bit more of a difference. 6x6 I think would be going a little over the top, especially if you're going up to like a 7x7, because you don't really need it to be that like stable once you get that high. And Megaminx I would like to put magnets in, but again, it's kind of hard. How tall are you? I'm currently around 5'10" and a little bit. Are you going to do daily uploads in the summer again? That's a very good question because I actually have done that the past 3 summers. And unfortunately, no, I'm not going to be able to do daily videos the entire summer this year, just because I have so much going on, especially going into the summer. I'm going to be gone for like 2 weeks and unable to make any videos. So I'll try and schedule a lot of things going out in between that. But no, I'm not going to do daily for the whole thing. I might do it for a little section like the end of June, because that's normally when my videos get super popular during the summer. So yeah, I might do that for a while, but I'll try and keep up doing at least 4 a week during the summer. Do you think learning full OLL is worth it? Well, if you're using CFOP, unlike me, and you get down to around like 15 seconds using like advanced F2L and PLL and good stuff like that, then yeah, at that point I think it would be worth it because it can shave off a couple seconds of your time if you learn it well. But if you're above like 20 seconds, I don't really think it's worth it because there are a lot of other things that you could improve on rather than just learning a huge ALK set. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this Q&A. That's all I really have for today. Again, leave some good questions down in the comments below because I get a lot of bad ones, like I mentioned earlier in this video. So yeah, leave those questions down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!